We examined a study presented by the Prague Design Technical Group at the HFES conference in 2016. The article in question was, How Fitness Trackers Facilitate Health Behavior Change. Members of the Prague Design Technical Group are primarily interested in the design of products for consumer use. They are intimately familiar with the process of concept development and prototyping for the sake of developing and iterating upon a product, whether it is physical or software. To do this, they investigate competing products, coming to intimately understand their functionality, usability, cost, and aesthetic value. Ultimately, they apply their knowledge of aesthetics and emergent features to improve interdisciplinary product design by engineers, designers, and market researchers. The authors begin their discussion by talking about the capabilities of fitness trackers. These devices are able to detect heart rate, blood flow, and blood oxygen levels. They are excellent for tracking performance and may prompt healthier activity choices. Regular use can aid in diagnosis and treatment of unexpected ailments, prompting users to seek treatment based off of abnormal readings. According to the article, nearly 16% of all U.S. consumers own a fitness tracker. However, the abandonment rate is very high, with nearly a third of all users abandoning the product after 6 months. Similarly, their use tends to be occasional and not daily, precluding some of the benefits they could provide. While consumers are aware of the potential benefits using a tracker may bring, they do not view the information trackers provide as beneficial enough to keep using them. Consumers who do tend to use their fitness trackers do so for several consistent reasons. They use them to monitor their footsteps, keep track of their heart rate while exercising, and monitor their sleeping habits.
The main question the authors are trying to answer in this paper is, how can the manufacturers of wearable technologies engage users long-term by implementing human factors principles? In their discussion of how these technologies can keep users invested, the authors discuss 3 factors, each of which we are going to be explaining in more detail. First, tracking for health, basically how people, the app, and their health interrelate. Second, influences of the design, or how to make these devices attractive, usable, and comfortable. And third, socio-technical aspects, which are the broader social impacts of this technology.
Tracking for health was one of the main topics covered by the article and focused on 3 areas: feedback, connectivity, and intervention. Feedback to the user can take various forms, and it's important to identify the most appropriate type of feedback in order to improve the usability of wearables. Creating a community through connectivity where users can share, sync, and track fitness data can increase motivation and persuade behavior changes. Educating the user as part of an intervention process with reminders and rewards may help the user create habits which will outlast the technology. We will go into more details in the later slides. Visual feedback in the form of a screen or lights is the most common type of feedback. The best screen designs use Gestalt principles to create an attractive interface that provides useful, easy-to-interpret information. The more salient the information is from the background, the easier it is for the wearer to process. The information in this photo is salient and easy to read. Auditory feedback tends to be non-speech, i.e. beeps or chirps. It is useful when the interface is small and little information fits on the screen. Brewster et al. Found that audio can be especially effective for the wearer on the go who can't pause to look at the interface. Haptic feedback is especially useful for those who are visually impaired. Wall created a study where users' dominant hands were used to operate and interact with the interface while haptic feedback was felt on a different part of the body. The ability for our wearable technology to stay connected to our communities by automatically collecting and syncing data provides motivation and can persuade behavior changes. As you can see, the Fitbit user is able to see her friends and their weekly steps to encourage accountability. Connectivity can also provide rewards to encourage users. Organizations are already using performance gathered by pedometers to incentivize workers by offering a lower health premium. And the article mentions another program where users bet to lose weight to provide another monetary incentive. Lastly, the article acknowledges 2 main forms of messaging which play a key role in facilitating behavioral changes in the intervention process: reactive and proactive messaging. Reactive messages use data gathered by the platform to send notifications with a suggested but vague message to the user. As you can see in the Apple Watch, the user's heartbeat was identified as abnormal for them, and therefore the system prompted a reactive message to suggest, "Take a minute to breathe." Proactive messages aim to educate by informing the user of the consequences of the negative or positive behavior. The image displaying the "almost there" message represents a positive, proactive message to encourage the user to keep moving. Both reactive and proactive messaging help to create habits or automatic behavior triggered by situational cues.
Since wearable technology has a much smaller screen than, say, a laptop or a phone, the screen must be usable in all scenarios. Research has proposed using 4 modalities for presenting information to users: audio, graphic, tactile, and haptic. The field now is moving to dictate between 2 means of displaying information, with screen and without screen. While some products use small screens like Fitbit, others like Apple and Samsung use larger touchscreen interfaces that Zhang and Rao caution could lead to cognitive overload. Adding things like tactile, haptic, and audio feedback would help counteract this. The design principles were originally developed by Mahdi and Kane. They begin with aesthetics, customization, and fashion, all of which play a major role in ensuring that people actually want to wear their technology. For instance, TAG Heuer, a luxury watch brand, offers a high level of customization, ranging from band styles to metal finishes for over $1,700. Second, they have affordance, ease of use, intuitiveness, and user-friendliness, also which are important. Fitbit has done an excellent job of creating affordable products that are highly intuitive to a novice user by matching their products to most people's mental models of wearable technology, which facilitates longevity and usage. Finally, there's comfort, ergonomy, obtrusiveness, and wearability, which are factors that Apple seems to excel in, offering a wide array of comfortable cases and bands that remain unobtrusive and highly wearable, leaving you free to maintain a normal set of activities. Further design principles include contextual awareness and overload, which are important in that notifications should not distract the user from their current task. To achieve this, Apple allows users to customize screen layouts for the contextual preferences of each user. Privacy and subtlety come into play with products like Google Glass, which was highly criticized for its ability to take photos of the user's surroundings without others knowing. Wearable technology must allow the user to control privacy and limit information shared with the manufacturer and third parties. Developers must ensure, finally, that their products provide accurate and reliable data each and every time, while remaining responsive to ensure satisfaction and not drive users away. For socio-technical aspects, the use of wearable technology includes device owners, organizations like healthcare providers and insurance companies, the tasks that must be performed by the product, and the internal and external environments that it must also be considered. Despite all these factors, though, the incorporation of these technologies into the health sector has a massive potential for making healthcare more affordable, manageable, and efficient. Studies have also found that the adoption rate for wearable technologies is higher when the physicians and insurance providers encourage their patients to use them. In turn, patients are more likely then to share the data collected, which makes the process that much more efficient and beneficial for both parties.
In conclusion, there exists a significant gap in what designers provide consumers and what consumers actually want. This wearable technology is only as effective as consumers are willing to use it. Establishing realistic goals and expanding healthcare are potential outcomes of this technology, but consumers may not be empowered to act upon this information. While fitness tracking usage is growing and improves long-term health habits, only a small portion of people today actively use this technology. While the devices themselves are great for determining health quality and deciding on interventions, this only becomes apparent through regular and continued use. In order to improve upon this, it is up to human factors psychologists and engineers to continue to apply our discipline to the improvement of these devices and expand their use.